Welcome back to First Edition Chats with Nicole. I'm Nicole Boone. The Horry County Solid Waste Authority is more than just a landfill. It's a community resource. I'm delighted to have HCSWA Assistant Executive Director Edwin Marr as my guest today. Welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Thanks so very much.
So you do more than people actually realize when it comes to protecting tomorrow's environment today. Give us an overview of the authority and its purpose.
So the Horry County Solid Waste Authority does much more than you think. It's not just the town dump anymore.
Right.
We try to get people into the thought of it's a solid waste and it's an environmental solid waste landfill, but it is also a recycling facility. It is also a construction and demolition debris recycling facility. We have disposal facilities, of course, but we also have composting, and we have all of the things, solid waste, that you would need to manage everything that you generate as a person at your home, at school, or even at work where you work. All the materials that get generated in the county have to be managed in some way. That's our purpose. We're here to help provide those services for the community.
And talk about the facilities themselves.
Okay, so we have multiple facilities on one 1,800-acre footprint. The first and most obvious is our landfill, where all the garbage goes. We generate about 800 tons a day comes into the landfill.
Wow, that's a lot.
A lot of garbage coming in. The county is growing, as you can imagine. Our C&D, our construction and demolition landfill, we get about 500 tons a day. But then our processing, we do a lot to divert waste. The overall goal for us is to take as much out of disposal as we can and to put it to better use. So for example, our MRF, we generate about 100 tons a day of material that would otherwise be thrown out in the landfill that we process and we send off to markets for recycling and a better use.
Fantastic.
Our construction and demolition facility, we've expanded this past year. We're processing probably about 100 tons a day roughly, and we're hoping to double that in the next couple of years so that we can extend the life of our facility that's anticipated to be closed in about 8 years. So the longer we can extend that out, the more cost-effective and efficient we can be at our operations.
I would assume that as each year goes by, or even less time, new ways of recycling, new ways of protecting the environment come out, and I assume that the authority is working hard to stay on top of those things.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we just came back from research, well, not necessarily research, but it was a conference that talked about all the research and technology, the latest and greatest in the garbage world, if you will. And for example, optical sorting. You know, when your recycling comes in, people always say, well, you know, it's all mixed together. How can you separate all that? Well,
yeah,
there is some.
Do that?
There is some hand separating involved
Right.
in that, a little bit, but there's actually machines that, as the materials are going down a conveyor, it takes pictures and it separates it by either its composition, its color, its shape, and all of that is done manual or through sortation with the equipment. They also have robotics. Robotics now are beginning to be very popular. You can sort materials on a line, 30 or 40 picks per minute, using a robotic arm, not even the human touch, it's a robotic arm. So those kinds of technologies are coming into play. We're always looking for ways to improve our process, to keep ourselves as efficient as we can be, and we always want to pass those savings on to all the customers that utilize our facilities.
Of course. Well, as we close, what is the main thing that you want consumers to know when it comes to what you do and what maybe they can do better at home or at business or in their schools, wherever they live, work, and play?
I think the biggest takeaway that I would always leave with people is always be conscious about what you're doing with the materials that you generate. If you can avoid purchases that generate waste, try to do that. If you can recycle something, participate in your local community, use our countywide drop-off facilities. Anything that you can do to reduce the amount of waste that you produce helps us to extend the life of our facilities, makes us a better, more environmentally friendly community.
Well, we only have one Earth and we want to take care of it, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, this has been informative. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Anytime.
Absolutely, and you can visit their website to learn more information, and we will be right back.